Hello, Instagram. I'm just waiting for Facebook to connect. All right, Facebook is connected. Hello, Facebook. Hello, Instagram. So, welcome to day 20 of 21 Days to Magic. Happy Memorial Day. I know probably a ton of you are soaking up some quality time with your family right now. So if that is the case, I will make sure I get this uploaded into my IGTV so you guys can catch the replay as soon as possible. Hey, Nikki, thanks for tuning in. So speaking of time, I feel like this series has just flown by. I remember getting ready to launch this series and number one, having a lot of fear, right? This is the first full-length series that I've ever done live on Instagram, and the first 21-day series that I've done on my Facebook business page. So, it's that feel the fear and do it anyways type of mentality. Anytime we step out of our comfort zone and do something new, we always up level, we always create more space for us to grow into as entrepreneurs, as anyone, whether we're entrepreneurs or just individuals, whatever we're looking to expand into. Oh my gosh, thank you so much, love. Thank you so much for tuning in. And I just love that you've had such a beautiful Monday already from our little IG messages. So anyways, it's ironic that I'm talking about belief in time because I feel like the time for this series has just literally flown by. So I'm going to talk a little bit today on how your belief in time or lack thereof is directly correlated to your ability to receive or attract abundance. I like to use the term create abundance because when I say things like earn money or work hard for your money, those are things that are kind of counterproductive to what I teach, right? So when I'm going to be talking about time, I'm going to be relating it in terms of your belief system around time and your ability to create or attract abundance. Now, time is a belief system. So many people are probably going to hear that and they're going to be like, okay, this girl is crazy. She's super woo. But hear me out. And I'm going to give you guys some scientific proof for it as well. Time is a belief system. So often we say things like, there's so much to do and not enough time, or where does the time go, or time just flew by, right? Or time flies when you're having fun, or, when things are really boring, we complain about how the time just drags on, right? Time is a belief system. The thing with time is that time is a made-up construct based on what a collective decided upon years and years and years and years ago, right? Like, we always go back to like the Mayan calendar and like all these different tracking systems for us to identify day, night, weeks, months, years, etc., right? So it's just something that we as a construct, we as a collective decided upon so that we could have a tracking system, right? We as humans like measurement tools. We like to be able to quantify things. We like to be able to associate something to another. It is a basic human desire. It is a basic human need for growth, right? That's kind of how we measure growth, right? Is how successful we are over time, what we're able to achieve in a certain amount of time, right? So time is a belief. And what I found in my journey as an entrepreneur, as an online influencer, especially when I became a mom, I would have immense guilt around working my business. When I wasn't working my business because I was momming, I would have this sort of guilt for not working my business, right? I'd be like, oh my gosh, there's not enough time in the day. I'm never going to get it all done. And then I had like this resentment energy, right? It was this resentment towards always having all these responsibilities as a mom and not being able to pour into my passion, right? And then when I'd be pouring into my passion, when I'd be working my business, I'd have all of this guilt about I should be momming right now, right? And I had this energy of almost feeling like I had to rush through my work, that my work never really felt completed, that my work always felt half-assed because I was, my mind was kind of in multiple places at once. Like here I am being an entrepreneur and a mom and then all the things that you have to get done around the house, right? That's the thing too, is our minds are always going. There's never really any time in our mind other than when we're meditating. And even when we're meditating, I don't necessarily know if we always ever achieve that level of space or that level of of attunement that we're looking for when we think of balance, when we think of being in a meditative state. But there's all this clutter that goes on in your mind, right? And so what I found myself doing as a mom was having this, there's not enough time to be a mom, there's not enough time to work my business. There's not enough time to be a mom, there's not enough time to work my business. And then what I would do is I would go to bed at night and I would put my head on the pillow and I would have all of this guilt. I didn't do enough, I'm not enough. And I would go to bed every single night thinking that I wasn't enough, thinking that I wasn't enough, that there was never enough time, that there was never going to be enough time to build my business the way that I wanted to. So I put my head on the pillow at night believing that I was never enough, because I believed that there was never enough time. And then what did I do? Because I wasn't setting good intentions when I laid my head on the pillow at night, I woke up feeling behind. So I started my day every single day for years as an entrepreneur already feeling behind, already feeling like I wasn't enough. And in 2018, I drew a line in the sand and I said, enough is enough. I refuse to lay my head on the pillow at night feeling anything less than amazing as fuck. I refuse to lay my head on the pillow at night feeling less than. I refuse to feel guilt when I lay my head down on the pillow at night, and I refuse to wake up living in this hamster wheel of not enough and feeling like I'm already behind. It wasn't easy. I'm not going to sit here and tell you guys that it was easy to shift this belief. We grow most of our lives feeling like there's never enough time. We rush through things, right? We rush through milestones to get to the next milestone, right? We can't wait when we're in high school to get to college, and then we're in college, we can't wait to get our big girl or our big boy jobs, right? And then all of a sudden we're there and we're like, where did the time go? Well, it's because we rushed it away, right? It's because that's the energy, that's the state, that's the frequency that we were living in. We were always going from one milestone to the next without even being grateful or present for the milestone that we were in, right? We live in a very rushed society, a very, very rushed society. So in 2018, I drew a line in the sand and I said, enough is enough. I'm going to lay my head down on the pillow every single night, knowing that even if all I freaking did is put my 2 feet on the ground that day and show up, that was more than enough. That was absolutely enough, and that was more than enough, and that I was going to wake up every single day feeling like I'm already more than enough, feeling that I have more than enough time. Because here's the thing, if you believe that you have enough time, you're going to get enough done. If you believe that there's never enough time, guess what? That to-do list is going to keep growing and growing and growing and growing, and the time is going to get smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller, right? If you wake up every single day and you start to affirm and your intention is that you always have more than enough time, guess what? You're going to find things that feel like they magically get done in no time, and then all of a sudden you're going to have all of this time. The to-do list is going to get smaller or get shorter, and you're going to be like, oh my gosh, this is what balance feels like. This is what being present feels like. This is what it feels like to have a cup full. This is what it feels like to not feel burnt out. And that's the intention that I set almost every single day. And I'm not perfect. There are definitely days where I wake up on the wrong side of the bed. There are definitely days when I have to really be intentional about trying to be intentional with my belief system around time, right? And there are just some days where I just call it a wash and I say, you know what? I didn't get anything done today. I'm a mom. She wanted to run around like crazy, and if the only thing that I did was get my feet on the ground and keep my little one alive, and that's all I could do, that's more than enough. And sometimes it takes a lot of effort for me to be conscious about that, to be really present with that intention, because it's not easy. A basic human need is a desire to grow, and so many of us have that desire to grow by doing more. So once we can really start to affirm and set those intentions around having simply not even just enough time, but having more than enough time, that's when your business is just going to start to feel easier. You're going to start to notice that these things that you used to do before really aren't necessary, or they're going to be a lot quicker, and then you're going to have a lot more time. So number one, time is a belief system. Number two, when we focus on being present, when we focus on being intentional with what we are doing right now, we are actually, by being present, living into the future version of ourselves. I know that sounds a little bit confusing. Here's why. We have this picture in our mind. So many of us as entrepreneurs, as influencers, have this perception that when I'm the highest version of myself, I'm going to have such a balanced life. I'm going to only work X amount of hours. I'm going to sleep in until my body wakes itself up. I'm going to eat nutritious food. I'm going to be fully present with my children, right? So we have this picture in our mind of what our highest version of us looks like. And so often that picture involves us being present. It involves a balanced lifestyle. It involves us doing things with the people that we love. It involves doing more things with the people that make us feel whole, right? And so in that picture, we have this perception that we're being present, right? So when we actually take time today to be present, to be intentional with the work that we're doing, whether it be momming, dadding, tackling that to-do list with abundant as fuck energy, when we live into that vibration of being present, we are actually speeding up getting ourselves to the future. We are actually living into the future version of us, okay? Because we as beings are all energy. And when I say that time is made up, I also say that with the belief system of we are all energy. When we leave this earth, our energy doesn't just disappear. The past version of ourselves, guess what, guys? The past energy of ourselves, the past versions of ourselves, they're still out in the universe. That energy doesn't just go anywhere, right? The present version of us right now, that's here, right? That's proof. Like, we're right here. Like, I can feel it, right? My heart is beating. The present version of me is right here. And guess what? Just what I said 2 seconds ago is the past. That energy is still there, right? What I just said 2 seconds ago, probably you guys are just listening to right now, okay? That's proof, right? That's how energy works. Which also means that since energy is neither created nor destroyed, that the future version, the future energy of ourselves is also out there, okay? So to bring this into point number 3, time is made up because we create it. When we're having fun, time speeds up. Why? Because when we're having fun, we're being present, right? Like if you're playing cornhole with a group of friends on Memorial Day, drinking Trulies or Coronas or whatever it is, I'm a Miller girl, whatever it is that you want to drink, and you're being present and you're playing cornhole with your friends, or you're doing things that bring you joy, and you're only thinking about what you're doing in that moment, right? You're not worried about that to-do list. You're not worried about checking the inbox, your email inbox. You're not worried about what tomorrow is going to look like, right? When you're being present and you're having fun, you're actually speeding up time. Why? Because you're living into the future version of you who does those things more. Okay, is this starting to sound a little less crazy? Like I'm a little less woo and a little bit more like, okay, I'm on board with this. Like, give me some hearts if that's the case. And on the contrary, when we start to live in this, we get to our to-do list, we open up our planner for the week, and all of a sudden the panic starts to set in, and then we're doing all these things on our to-do list that we don't really want to do because they're not really behaviors that bring us joy. And then we start to panic. Oh my God, am I going to be able to get through this to-do list? I already feel behind. If I already didn't get all of that work done from last week, and now that's moved on to this week's to-do list, and this week's to-do list is already crazy. And then if I don't sit down and actually force myself to do it, then I'm going to be even further behind, right? So now the anxiety sets in, right? Because anxiety is simply just worried about something that hasn't even happened yet, right? Worried about the future, or panicking about shit that's already happened and mulling it over and over again. Same thing with depression, right? And I'm not a doctor and I'm not a therapist, and I'm not saying that this work will cure anything like that, but I'm just saying that's why a lot of those things come into play. Someone who struggled with anxiety her whole life, right? So when we're living in that energy, we're actually slowing things down, right? It actually is starting to feel like it's taking longer for us to do that list. And then the time is, you're like, well, where did the time go? Like, I have this massive to-do list. The energy of that list is slow because that's the energy that you're living into. And then all of a sudden the to-do list is still there. It's still growing, and the time is just, it's gone, right? Or when we're doing things like sitting in a classroom and it's not bringing us any joy, right? We're sitting there, we're like, oh my God, why does this hour feel like 2 hours? Because it actually is 2 hours, because we make up time. We're living into the energy that we're presenting ourselves in. We're living into the energy that we are perceiving to be true. It is a belief system. If we believe that the time feels really slow, guess what? It's gonna feel really fucking slow because time is made up. We can wake up tomorrow and say, guess what? There's gonna be 28 hours in a day, not 24. And if we decided as a collective that that was what we were going to do, guess what? We would have 28-hour days. And yeah, it'd be a little bit uncomfortable and whatever, but think about time changes. Think about how airplanes can literally go from one place to another in 3 hours, right? It's all a belief. It's simply just wrapping our minds around how it works and living into that vibration and understanding how the energetic standpoint of it works, okay? So that's point number 3. Point number 4 is E equals MC squared. Okay? So I know I've referenced this book quite a few times. It is Happy Pocket Full of Money. It is phenomenal. Go get your hands on it. But I am going to read you some scientific proof that backs up this belief system, okay? And I'm going to talk about why your belief around time is directly correlated to your ability to attract or create abundance. So, your mind from your spirit keeps your body together as a solid unit. And your mind does the same thing with other things around you. All matter, okay, so guys, we're matter, we're energy, okay? All matter is put together using information from your mind and the minds of those around you, okay? That's the collective. So your mind has its own energy, and then the minds of those around you, that's the collective, okay? The minds of those around you and the rest of the universe. Einstein's equation, E equals mc squared, states that energy contained in any matter is equal to the mass of that matter multiplied by the speed of light squared. And that is a very large number. It is a very large number, guys. This shows you two things. Even the smallest tiny piece of matter has a tremendous amount of energy. That is how nuclear explosions happen. You and everything else are just energy arranged together by information from your mind. Our minds create the energy, create the reality that we live in, guys. So, something else that they touched on in here was, we come from light, right? We are light. In fact, your body, when you examine it under a microscope, is under 99% space. All right? Light, literally, when you think about traveling at the speed of light, that's what we're made of. All right? So it literally is proof that our energy on a molecular level is what we make ourselves up to be. Okay? Now, it's really deep, and it's really kind of our minds can't really wrap ourselves around it. But that, if you get this book and you read it, that was on page 23, and it breaks down Einstein's E equals mc squared. Okay? So just like I talked about, energy is neither created nor destroyed in the beginning of this is E equals mc squared, and it really talks about how that's possible on a molecular level. All right? So that was point number 4. I did touch on how past, present, and future energy always exists, right? Energy is neither created nor destroyed. Our past energy is still existing in the universe. Our present energy is right now existing in the universe, which obviously means our future energy is out there existing in the universe, right? So, energy is neither created nor destroyed. Energy doesn't just disappear. Okay, so that was point number 4. And then point number 5 is why affirmations are so important. So often, it is really hard for us as humans to say an affirmation, to live into an I am and believe it, okay? Affirmations are simply exercises for the mind. That's why they're so hard for so many people, right? Because we've lived our life one way for many, many, many years, thinking or doing things a certain way, believing that certain things are not possible. And then all of a sudden we're going to go from I'm in $29,000 of debt to I am a millionaire. That's a big jump for our brains, right? It doesn't just happen overnight. We have to work our mindset muscle. And when we say I am, we say it in the present tense. When we say I am, we speak it into existence. You are what you say I am what you say I am, right? God speaks that into existence for you. I am what he says I am, right? The great I am. When we say I am, we are speaking that into existence with conviction, okay? And that's a powerful thing. We're not saying I was. We're not saying I'm going to be. We are saying I fucking am. And that's a powerful thing, right? Because what did I say earlier in this call? When we are being present, we are living into the future version of ourselves. When I say I am, that's talking about me in this present moment, right now. So when we say I am, we actually live into the future version of ourselves. So even though we might not physically in this moment right now be a millionaire, if you say I am a baller ass freaking millionaire and you believe it and you speak it into existence and you say it with wholehearted conviction and you say it like that every single day, multiple times a day, week after week, month after month, until you believe it, guess what? You are a fucking millionaire. Because you have that vision. God gave that vision to you. There's so many people out there in the universe that they don't have a desire to be a millionaire. So celebrate it if you have that desire. Celebrate it, right? But when you speak it into existence, you live into the future version of you. I am, okay? So, and I wanted to wrap that up with one more little example from this book. So on page 39, if you guys choose to get this book, I'll show it to you again. It's a Happy Pocket Full of Money. It's phenomenal. I am present tense. That is how your goals should be written. But it is useless to write them that way if you do not think them in the I am present tense mode. Be aware of and deliberate in your thoughts, and make sure that you always think of your goals and intention in the I am present tense fashion all day long. I am is a command. Okay, it's a command to the universe to immediately get into the process of manifesting your wishes into physical reality. It is a declaration of the state of being in the moment of now, which is here. And guess what, guys? When you get here, you're living into the energy of there. And when you get there, you're living into the energy of now. Does that make sense? Every time we get there, we're actually going to be here because we're always ascending. It is a basic human need to grow. Right now, as you read this sentence, you are already very, very wealthy. From now on, all you will be doing is taking possession of this wealth, receiving it, or more accurately, becoming awake to it. All right? So, I know that while some of you guys probably listen to me and you're like, what is this girl talking about? That time isn't real, money is a belief, time is a belief. Guys, there's scientific proof behind it. We are all at the very core of our existence, down to the cellular level, to the molecular level, we are all energy. Everything around us is energy, past, present, and future. Whether we're talking about ourselves, we're talking about success, we're talking about relationships, we're talking about money, we're talking about time, whatever it is, down to the molecular, tiniest little freaking microscopic thing, we are all energy. So take it for what you will. We will be wrapping out with celebration on day 21. I have some exciting announcements for you guys. I have a great way to just close out this 21-day series. For now, thank you guys for tuning in. Please go enjoy that time with your families. Go celebrate. Happy, happy, happy Memorial Day. I'm so grateful for you guys, and I'm sending all of my love and so many beautiful intentions your way for this holiday. Bye, guys.